Okay, I got my glass of milk here.
Gross.
You don't just drink a glass of milk before you do a podcast?
No, milk's gross.
Crispy, cold, ice cold milk.
Gross.
It's so good and yummy for me. It's a way to get that vitamin D. No joke. I thought you were gonna do some sort of
Nope. Don't care.
dick joke.
And here's to the beginning.
I'll drink to that.
Why, Johnny Ringo.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
I know exactly what I'm doing, and I can change it at any time.
I'm your huckleberry.
An outlaw loose and running came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business with the big iron on his hip.
Incoming the Ramblin podcast with your hosts, Conway Titty and Stoney Robbins.
Howdy, folks, and
Penis.
Stop! We just started. Howdy, folks, and welcome back to another episode of the Ramblin podcast. I'm your host, Conway Titty.
And I'm your host, Stoney Robbins.
And we are back with another episode, obviously, because you're listening. You're allowing us to penetrate your ear holes. And for some reason, you decided to click on this topic. I don't know if it caught your guys' eyes or not. Your eye holes, your eyeballs, your ocular lenses. We're going to be talking about Disney adults on this episode 25. Surprised, we're doing it still.
Yep, still here. Still doing things.
Still here, still talking about crazy random shit and stories for you guys. But yeah, I thought this would be a really fun topic to talk about Disney adults. You can hate them or you can love them, depending if you are a Disney adult. If you're a Disney adult, you probably love them. If you aren't a Disney adult, you probably find them extremely cringy, scary, very scary, actually. We're gonna kind of talk about what kind of qualifies as being a Disney adult. Because people are like, oh, well, I watch Disney movies. Does that make me a Disney adult? Or, oh, like, I go to the park like once a year or once every blue moon. Does that count as a Disney adult? Oh,
no.
Like, I like, certain things from Disney. Am I a Disney adult? No. Absolutely not. When we talk about Disney adults, we talk about the obsession that is Disney adults. And it's not just you liking things here or there. Literally nothing like that. It is a crazy topic because it is an obsession. It seems, honestly, when you think of Disney adults, to me, it's so cringy. I find them very cringy, and I kind of find them terrifying.
Yeah, I wouldn't even necessarily say it's kind of an obsession. It's a full-blown fucking obsession. Like, these people are just so obnoxious.
In ways that, when you think about it, you could put anything in the blank, like fill in the blank. It doesn't have to be Disney. There's tons of obsessions that people have that can be considered crazy, but Disney is a very, very, very common one that a lot of us see. Even if you're like scrolling on the interwebs, man, it's like a jump scare. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah,
why?
because their entire personality is nothing but Disney, and usually they're like, they'll get tattoos, they'll name their kids after Disney characters, they'll make their wedding at Disney. They're just weirdos.
Yes and no. And coming from somebody that literally my first tattoo I ever got is literally it's on my foot, and has the copyright symbol next to it, and it literally is Disney font. It says Disney. Like kind of.
And you have to get the copyright, otherwise it's illegal.
Yeah. And it's what the like Disney toys have underneath their foot. So when I was like 17, just turned 18. I was like, that would be so funny and so much fun if I got Disney on my foot. So I do have Disney on my foot, but I do not consider myself a Disney adult at all. And really, I am not categorized as it, because people can get Disney tattoos because they like it. Some people get anime tattoos if they like it. It just depends on, do you make it your entire life? You know what I mean?
And they do.
And they do. So like having, like I said, it's not harmful for you guys to like, have Disney tattoos, whether it's actually Disney, whether it's based on the movies, the shows, a character, like that's all fine and dandy. But we're gonna really kind of dive deep into what it is to be a Disney adult. Disney in general, like it's not really gonna be a breakdown of Disney. Because that's kind of unnecessary. Like, almost everyone
Spoiler
in the
alert,
world,
it's cringe.
everyone in the world knows about Disney and the Mouse Overlord and everything like that.
Oh boy.
But we're gonna talk about the like buying into the Disney adult, becoming one, what qualifies, everything like that. So yeah, if you have I love Disney movies. I like to watch Disney movies. I like to see the new Disney movies. I get excited about it. Sometimes you cry with Disney movies, and that's awesome. But like,
The only good Disney movie is Wall-E.
Stoney's favorite Disney movie is Wall-E.
Wall-E and
But you're not making Wall-E your entire personality.
no, but Wall-E and fuck, what's the other one? I can't think of the name of it. The one I really like with the guitar.
Coco.
Coco, yeah.
Coco's
Yeah, I really like
amazing.
Coco.
Yeah, Disney movies and Disney culture is really fun. Like it is magical, it is cute,
Cringe, very cringe.
but very cringe. Yes. So yeah, we're gonna kind of, like I said, deep dive into it. Have you ever been to Disney World or Disneyland or any of the
Nope.
parks? I fortunately have been one time, and it was I think one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. Um, I'll tell you my little side story before we get into it all.
Side story.
Side story time. I went when I was 16 with no, I was 15. I just got my permit. And I went with my mom, my uncle, and my sister. And we drove, well, technically, I drove with just having my permit. I drove from Oklahoma all the way to like, I think overnight I got to like maybe halfway into Alabama. And there was only maybe like a certain amount of time, maybe 2 hours left of the trip. That was, double digit hours, right?
Right.
So that was already miserable, absolutely miserable. I don't know who in their right mind would just allow a 15-year-old who just got her learning permit to drive them to a long distance. You know what I mean? I get cool practice, but I would never put my trust fully in like that way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Absolutely fucking not. So we get to, and also, if you guys have listened to my spring break episode, you guys know my family did everything really cheap. This was like, I had no idea how my mom afforded to do, afforded, she like saved up for years to be able to just buy tickets and like a hotel room for like, I think 4 days, 4 or 5 days, right?
Right.
So it was like basically all of our money to do this. One, also stupid. In the long run when you think about it. So my mom and sister are like very close. So my partner was my uncle. And I love my uncle to death. He's fucking awesome. And I was kind of happy because, my sister's younger than me. And I didn't want to be like a baby. You're like 15. You're trying to be like all cool. So I was like, I know me and my uncle will go do like the cool rides or whatever the hell that meant, right? We were going to be like the cool, and my uncle's like in his, late 20s, early 30s. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna have like fun. We're not gonna be babies, riding stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like we were like, we're gonna do the cool shit.
Yeah.
So we drive, I drive all the way almost to Florida, and then I was like, I literally had a breakdown. I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I'm tired, I'm sleepy. I've been driving for like 17 plus hours straight. Why the fuck am I still driving? And at this point, my uncle was already getting really sick. Not from car sick, like he was actually like, coming down with like a flu or something. So he was all hopped up on NyQuil and like some meds. So he couldn't even drive if he wanted to. He was But my mom was just, lazy at the time. So we get to the hotel that we're staying at, which is like a cheap hotel in Orlando. Nothing too fancy at all. But still expensive because it's in Orlando, what I'm saying? And then we drove to the parks for the first day. My uncle couldn't go with us because he was extremely sick. He ended up having to go to the urgent care and get even more meds. So his basically vacation was over. He didn't get to do anything the entire time we were there. So it was just me, my mom, and my sister. And we weren't sick, so also that we're not gonna just go spread sickness around. We were totally fine. I think he ended up getting like bronchitis or something. Actually, like it was like something like that. Anyway, so we go to the park for the first day, and this is so vivid for me because it was just like, when I tell you this was such a miserable experience, it is so bad. So our first day, we actually go to Magic Kingdom, which is the main park in Disney, right? It's the big one with Cinderella's Castle, all the stuff like that, right? Because there's like Animal Kingdom, Epcot, all the things like that. We did like 2 days at Disney and then 2 days at Universal Studios, and I love Universal Studios. I haven't been back since Universal Studios at this time, and I still want to go to Universal Studios because it's that awesome, right? Being a Universal Studios adult does not make you weird, because Universal Studios is for adults. It's not catered to children, right?
Children's.
Okay, so we get to the park, and my mom booked my sister this very special Dine with Cinderella event, and didn't even think to include me at all, because she just thought I didn't want to do it without even asking. But you're getting to dine in Cinderella's castle and have a 5-course meal. 5-course meal, all the bells and whistles. It's pretty fancy. And she just didn't care to include me. She's just like, whatever. So as my sister and my mom run off to go do Cinderella's castle, because that was like the first thing they were like reserved for the day or whatever.
Right.
I'm stuck walking around the kind of front part of Disney where all the shops are. Because I didn't want to venture too far into the park because we were going to do that, kind of as a group. So not only are they enjoying their nice 5-course dinner, meeting all the princesses, I'm sitting at the front of the parks, walking through the gift shops. Like, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, just kind of looking at everything, not being able to buy anything, because everything's so expensive. I don't have any money. I think I had like money for my food for like lunch, and that was it. Everyone knows amusement park food is very expensive, right?
Very expensive.
So not only are they enjoying their 5-course meal without even including me, it starts pouring rain because, it's Florida. It starts pouring rain, and I have to put on my poncho, and I'm sitting there eating wet fries outside on a park bench, staring at this Walt Disney statue, just getting poured on while they're inside eating a 5-course meal. And that was what I had. And then finally they got done after I think like 2 hours or maybe 3 hours, if that, doing all the meet and greets and everything like that. I'm finally soaking wet and just kind of, ready to leave. I don't even care to be there anymore. It's not fun at this point. And then we had to proceed to walk around all of the rest of Magic Kingdom and sit in line and do all the stupid shit for the rest of the day. And then, because my mom wanted to beat traffic so bad, we didn't even stay for the parade or the fireworks. So we left. So, which is the best part of the parks usually, is like the fireworks show in the night parades and stuff like that. We left. And the whole time I have wet socks and shoes. I get those like weird white blisters, when your skin's so pruny that you start getting like blisters, but the blisters are like white when you take your socks off because you have like dead skin and shit.
Yep.
We finally get back to the hotel, and I just was like, that was a really miserable day. I didn't get to do anything. I only had cheap fries. We didn't eat anything at the parks. Got to experience nothing but ride the rides that we kind of tried, right?
Right.
The next day was Epcot. We got to go to Epcot, and then I think that was it. I think we only went to Epcot. which Epcot is a little bit better than actual Magic Kingdom is, in my opinion. I still, like I said, I haven't been. This is like, you know, 2000 or 2013 probably, if that. Um, and Epcot was decent. It was a lot more adult friendly because they have the drink around the world, and you can kind of like, it's not as like, it's still
Not
kiddie
as
vibes.
kid-centric.
Yes, but it's kind of for adults and stuff, so it makes it a little bit more fun. I got to meet a lot of the characters, which we basically just waited in line all day for. It's hot, it's muggy, it's fucking Florida, right? There's just kids screaming, parents everywhere, people like it's just busy, right? And then went home and then went back to the hotel that night. Leaving early, stay for a couple hours, get what we need to do, and then leave. Go back, eat our food that we packed, our little sandwiches and anything that was cheap, right? No eating out, no nothing like that. And then the next following days, we went to Universal Studios, and I had a fucking blast, and I had so much fun, and I can't wait to go back to Universal Studios. Moral of the story: Disney World sucked ass. Short, sweet,
That's the
simple.
main takeaway here.
Main takeaway: Disney World sucks fucking ass, and I don't know how people enjoy it, even as adults. Which is the topic we're talking about: Disney adults. Sorry for my little side tangent, but I just had to tell you guys that story. The one and only time I've been to Disney World, I fucking had a miserable experience. Absolutely sucked ass. Would not want to go again. No, thank you.
0 out of 10. Don't recommend.
But at this time in my life, I'm like 15, 16, in high school. I really do love Disney. Like, I had like Disney artwork in my room. Like, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a Disney adult because I wasn't a Disney adult. I just really liked Disney. Like, I really did like the movies, and I always liked the movies growing up. I always thought they were really awesome. So it's like I was really excited to go to Disney World, and then actually being there, I was like, this is awful. Everything is so expensive. But also being somewhat poor and going to Disney World is also not like a good combo. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. Being poor and doing anything is not a good combo.
Really not.
So it's just like, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. I didn't have a fun time. But I think even now, if we even had money to go to Disney World and to do that, which we wouldn't ever, I don't think it would even be fun. I don't think it'd be fun.
I don't think I would have
like,
that much fun there
this
anymore.
was like right before they added Star Wars. Like, they were in the process of like building things for Star Wars because they were like, doing stuff like that. But like, it still wasn't. Even if we went back and we only went and looked at the Star Wars stuff, I still don't think it'd be as fun.
Yeah, I definitely am in the camp where I think Universal is probably the better way to go. Because I mean, the only amusement parks and stuff like that I'd been to growing up was like, I remember one
Six Flags.
time. I've gone to Six Flags.
Worlds of Fun.
I've
That's in
gone
Kansas City.
I've gone to Silver Dollar City one time.
Yep, Silver Dollar City.
That's in Branson.
That's where we kind of went. But also, like I said, the cheap route. Very, very, very cheap route.
And after, let's see, I've been to one called Hershey Park, which is in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's owned by the Hershey company, and it's
Yeah.
like I didn't get to go to the amusement park, but I got to go to like the factory.
Yeah, but it was still an experience, like.
Yeah, it was pretty much stuff like that.
But even now,
really.
as adults, it's not appealing to me anymore. I was a kid. I was in high school. Like, I was like, oh, I love Disney. Like, Frozen was coming out. All the like kind of newer animation styles were coming out, and like, we grew up on the old hand drawn Disney, right?
Yeah.
And the newer animation styles were coming out, and I was like, oh my god, like, all of these are so much fun. Like, I really do enjoy watching the Disney movies. Like I said, we love watching Disney movies. Like, I love watching and going and see all the new Pixar and all that shit. Like, it's fucking awesome. I think it's awesome.
Correction. Conway loves watching Disney movies.
You like certain Disney movies to watch,
I like
but also we
certain
don't
ones.
watch them all the time. It's like,
Yeah, that's
when
true.
you get a feeling to like, hey, you want to be a little kid today? Let's watch some Disney movies and sit at home and eat a bunch of snacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you want to be small. But I'm not. Like I said, I don't have a feeling to like want to go to Disney World or Disneyland or even like Disney World in different countries. It
See,
just doesn't.
that's the only time I think it would be fun, because like other countries do it so much better.
Yeah, but even then, it's like it's still kind of the same thing in a sense. It's like the
Like
Overlord
Disney
mouse.
in
It's
Japan
these
would be cool.
characters. Yes and no, but that's what I'm saying. Is like, it's still under the umbrella of Disney, and it's not. If you don't have kids it doesn't seem fun. Because most
Right.
time parents take their kids because their kids are having a fucking blast and that makes them happy, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to Disney adults, they're doing it because they love Disney.
Absolutely love Disney.
So Disney, just off of all of let's say Disney in general, the Disney company, they make $55 billion a year. $55 billion a year.
And that's just at the parks?
No. That's Disney as a whole, but I think a big portion of it is just from the parks.
I think that might be a little skewed though, because like you look at the movies and stuff like that, and some of them gross like over $100 billion.
Well, then it's probably 55 billion a year for parks. Let's just say that. Okay? But 55 billion per year per parks. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make more than 55 billion a year. Okay, then it's 55 billion a year for parks. I was like, that does seem like a low number. Yeah, 55 billion a year in parks, pretty much. And with Disney adults, it is like this extreme obsession for this high-priced fairy tale that they have in their mind. And I find that interesting in a weird, why are you obsessed way, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, it's because Disney is expensive. There's a difference because like Universal, I feel like is a normal-ish priced amusement park, but Universal Studios is based on adult movies and films and like not only this kiddie atmosphere. Does that make sense? Like it's not this PG or G rated fantasy. Universal could be rated R, 18 plus if it wanted to be. You know what I mean? They have the like Fright Nights and shit like
Right.
that during October. You know what I mean? Like they get gory and nasty. Whereas Disney is like this sunshine, rainbows, kissy kissy unicorn farts. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So these people are obsessed with a high priced fairy tale of what they either grew up around or what it is, and the psychology behind it can be like numerous things. Like it could be a lot of trauma based on their younger experiences in childhood. It could be a bunch of things of what causes people psychologically to be obsessed with Disney, right?
Right.
And to the fact to where it's like all they want to do is Disney. They plan every major event around Disney. And it got also with all the kind of research I was doing around the psychology around Disney and kind of the background of it, it got worse during the pandemic. The accumulation of Disney adults got worse during the pandemic.
Oh, I
And
believe it. Everyone's sitting at home, nothing better to do, and Disney Plus was a thing, so everyone just
well,
immediately started
not even just that, but
hyperfixating.
like they can't go to the parks. So they're like relying on like virtual walkthroughs of the parks. Like they can't not have it. And that also could be, a trauma response or whatever it is for that as well during the pandemic. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
alone, they don't have their thing to go to all the time. So it's or they're home collecting, doing something, all that stuff. Like it's different. And like I said, I enjoy Disney things. I'm not saying it's bad, but I think it's really bad when you give in and fall under the obsession part of it.
Right.
Where it's
Because
like
like
it
I mean,
controls your life,
realistically, any kind
controls
of
your
obsession
finances, everything, It's same thing with like any obsession, but a lot of people, like I said, it's fun to make fun of the Disney adults.
they're just an easy target, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. But Peter Pan syndrome is really, really, really prominent for a lot of these. It's basically a popular psychological term, and it's used to describe an adult who has difficulty growing up. And it's derived from the Peter Pan magical boy who never grows up by J.M. Barrie. That was created in 1902. So like Peter Pan's been the whole story of Peter Pan has been around for a very long time in books, and Disney did an adaptation of it as well. And this kind of diagnosis goes with it, why they call it Peter Pan syndrome, is like literally people who cannot grow up, who cannot take care of adult responsibilities, who can't seem to let go of the child in them. And I think it's very healthy to always have not a child in you. That would be to have a younger version of yourself still with you and still like nurturing younger version of yourself. Like I believe that's very, very, very thing. Like I said, whether you're eating like your favorite candies, watching your favorite movies as a kid, like I think that's really important to like take care of your inner child, right?
Right.
But these are people that are stuck as an inner child. And like I said, it could be a lot of traumas with it, past things. No judgment on that aspect. But it's the people that don't think they have it when it comes to being a Disney adult. Like they're just like, oh, it's a hobby. And I'm like, your hobby is very expensive and it's cost you a lot of money. And you're not getting anything out of it but serving this giant corporation that makes billions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So I kind of have different sections I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Disney parks. And when we talk about these certain things, it is coming from the Disney adult topic. Like I said, this is all we're going to be talking about is Disney adults and how they are Disney adults, what considers it. So at these parks, everyone already knows like Disney World, Land, Disney anything tickets are quite expensive. Even just for one day.
That is true. They are
So
very expensive. It's like over $100 a ticket.
Yeah, these people are not only, not going to Disney World like once or twice a year or like 5 times a year. A
They're
lot
going
of these
multiple times a
people,
week.
a lot of these people go multiple times a week. Some don't even live in Orlando or even live in Florida. Some strictly move to Orlando, Florida just to be able to go to Disney multiple times a week. Some people go to Disney every single day, and guess what? They don't work there. They are not employees, and they go every single day. Insane. So not only do you have the tickets that you're spending the money on, if you go, let's say, multiple times a week or every single day, even if you buy the season passes, that's expensive. All the food at the parks, expensive. Everything else, all the gift shops and shit, expensive. Fast pass tickets that include it to get to the rides early so you're not spending hours in line, expensive. You also have people that stay only in Disney themed hotels.
Yep.
Hotels that are run and operated and owned by Disney only.
They are just drinking from the tea to the mouse.
They will not stay at, Motel 6 or anything like that. It has to be a Disney themed hotel. And those Disney hotels, guys, newsflash, very, very expensive. Oh my God, are Disney hotels fucking expensive? Not if they don't stay at a Disney hotel, guess where else they stay?
I don't know. Where do they stay?
Any Disney themed Airbnb around Orlando. Most Airbnbs around Orlando, if you look at it, are Disney themed.
Of course they are.
Yeah, it has to, like, not only, like, they can't, when it comes to the Disney adults, they can't stay at anything that doesn't have the theme of it. It goes back to, like, where they're even coming from. Their houses are full of Disney everything. They want it to be revolved around Disney all the time. Their outfits are curated to be after certain characters. And that's what they wear to work. If they have a job, if that's, they're not going to Disney every single day of the day, all day, every day. So not only like these Disney hotels and these Airbnbs, people live in Disney resorts year round. 365 days a year, these people live in Disney resorts. They live in Disney resorts. And most of these cost more than 6 figures to do so a year. And people do this. They give up their homes. They give up their jobs. They give up their retirement plans just because they want to stay in a Disney resort for an entire year or more than 1 year. They want to live, breathe, and be Disneyland. They give it up for the Overlord mouse.
That they do.
The Mouse Overlord. They give it up. It's fucking it's literally crazy. So accumulating all that, hotels, tickets, then Disney also, to make it even more batshit crazy, because Disney wants to also make people feel special without feeling special in a sense, right?
Yep.
So Disney also has secret rooms that are usually for like big celebrities. You know, if like Mark Wahlberg was like, I'm going to take my kids to Disney World, Mark Wahlberg would get certain rooms. But even then, those rooms are so expensive. It's like for extremely rich people. And there's certain rooms that are only for Disney family, in a sense of like you are a descendant of,
Of the mouse.
of the
You are
mouse.
one of the mouse.
One of the
One of the
mouses, right?
mice.
One of the mice, which makes sense. Like if you're, grandpappy over here owned Disney World, like, yeah, you'd be like, yeah, here's a special room. You guys can go anytime. That makes sense. But the fact that they have secret rooms, I get for like super rich people, for celebrities, I get that. But there's like even the secret rooms that like aren't really necessarily for celebrities. But if you can afford it and you like mark off all these insane qualifications, you also get to stay in there. Like if you,
Insane.
yeah, it's like it's crazy. So not only are these people, spending money on all the tickets all you want, people can spend their money on whatever they want. This isn't a judgment to them. It's just to like I said, feeding the Mouse Overlord. This is all we're talking about. The hotels, the Airbnbs have to be all Disney themed. These people will also be the same people who wait in line for hours to either meet new characters, like the ones that just come out, older characters, whether they're like trying new food or if they've had the same thing 20 fucking times, they're still gonna wait in line to get it. It's every time Disney adults go to Disney World or these Disneyland or any of the parks, it's like they're going for the first time every single time. To them, that is what it feels like. No matter how many times 365 days of Disney, every day is like going to the park for the first time. It's crazy. So they'll wait in line for the characters, the food, and the rides. They are also waiting in line for this food that is so expensive for no reason. It's not good food. I do not think Disney World food is good at all. I'm like, every time I see a video of like people trying the churros or the dollop whipped pineapple bullshit, I'm like, that stuff is not good. It's very mediocre, but it's because it's Disney, they can get away with it. Right? It's the same thing with like name brand anything. Doesn't have to be awesome, but because you slap a Gucci label on it, people are going to lose their fucking minds and want to buy it, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so you have all of that. Then you mix in the Disney events, whether it's holidays. Holidays are huge. I remember growing up, I wanted to go to Disney World at Christmas time so bad. I don't ever want to do that ever. I don't think I ever want to be at a holiday for Disney. It sounds awful. It may look all cute and fun, but then I think about all the Disney adults that will be there, and then it makes it insufferable. I would rather have
does.
I would rather have the requirement of like you must have a kid to go into Disney World than anything else.
Right.
Like I would rather be surrounded by the screaming kids that are screaming because they don't get to see Pluto right away than the Disney adults screaming because they don't get to see Pluto right away. Like it's ridiculous. So then they also, the special things at Disney, like not even just events, but like the 50th anniversary, the 100th, the centennial anniversary was just happened. Imagine what that was like. Like imagine the 100th anniversary of Disney and what that would be like at the parks and all of the people that would be there for it and all the new characters that they're pulling out of the vaults and all that shit, and like having these Disney adults push and shove and elbow just to get in line to get, fucking so-and-so to sign their book.
Pretty much. And people go insane about that too.
Yes. So not only just the, let's say, special events, along with the special events also comes the Disney merch. The gift shops in Disney are fucking insane. The gift shops in Disney parks are absolutely insane. A lot of it is very cool. A lot of it is just kind of the generic Disney things, right? The ears or things like that. But then they also have exclusive and limited edition things that people, you can look up videos of this on TikTok actually, guys. There's tons of videos like this. People are getting into fist fights and fighting for these small trinkets.
Trinkets!
Because they are a lot. I get it, because if you're like scalping and you're trying to, grab one to sell it on eBay and stuff, I get that. But these people cannot live without having a memorabilia item that they got at the park on this day at this time. Collectors, Disney collectors are fucking crazy as well. Even just with the Funko Pops, there's so many Funko Pops, it's insane. And those are just one fucking thing, right?
Yep, and then you also have
That's
to
just
think about it, like, not only do they have all this stuff at the parks, but they also have Disney stores across the country.
Yes, not necessarily anymore. I know a lot of the Disney stores shut down after the pandemic, because they also wanted people to like go to the parks more. They
Right.
felt like they were losing money for having the Disney store open. So I remember going to the Disney store as a kid. I fucking love the Disney store. Everything was so expensive. I didn't get to like get anything, but I got to look around, and it was always really fun to look around. But yeah, they shut a lot of the Disney stores down during the pandemic, and it made people want to go to the parks more because a lot of the stuff you can only get at the parks, right?
Right.
So I get it. It makes sense. But people fighting and elbowing and like losing their ever loving mind blows my mind. For at these G family friendly rated parks. It's fucking crazy. So not only that, Disney also is extremely strict with their liabilities. So yeah, obviously you have all these adults in here, and people think they can sue Disney or anything, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, no one's ever died at so and so Disney place." Yeah, because they can't.
Yeah, you're legally not allowed to die at Disney parks.
And do you know how that works?
Yeah, they basically, like, if you're having an issue and they think you're gonna die, they will literally take you off of the premises of the park. Like they'll put you in a cart and they'll take you off the premises so that way if you do die, you're not dying on company grounds. Because if you die on company grounds, you get to go there forever for free. Or
Yeah,
your family does or something like
and
that.
it's something of like you also can't sue Disney either for the death, because what they do is give you free Disney for life.
Yep.
Isn't that so fucked up? A weird dystopian thing. All hail the Mouse Lord. It's so fucking crazy, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So
It's
not
weird.
only are you dealing with the Disney adults who are waiting in line for merch, food, characters, just fucking wait in line for literally anything. That's just what they'll do. You have the next level of Disney adults, which are the Disney influencers. Let's take it a little step up. These are people that their entire pages, their entire social medias revolve around Disney. 100%. Disney, 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 Disney. Nothing else. Most of the time, these people are already Disney adults. They're just like a Disney adults with a badge upgraded, right? They get a little
Right.
special promotion. So some Disney adults or Disney influencers, like a lot of other influencers, get to be invited to certain events at Disney. Some get to be invited to like exclusive looks at movies or viewing parties, things like that. The same kind of things that some influencers get, right? Nothing too crazy on that. That seems pretty normal, right? So these people are making TikToks and reels in Disney. And if you guys want to just have a cringe fest, go to TikTok and just type in Disney adult, and you will see people doing TikTok dances and singing and choreographed shit literally in the middle of these parks with all these like families walking around them, just kind of, the little side staring of like, what's going on there? Oh, are these people part of a show? And then those people realize, no, they're just, they're just, just there dancing like fucking idiots. They're just there dancing to like music they can barely hear and moving and grooving or doing some theatrical singing. And no, they're not a part of the park. They're not getting paid to do any of that. They're just doing it because they love Disney so much.
Yeah, they do.
It's so fucking crazy to me. It's so crazy. So not only are these people, like I said, their entire thing revolves around Disney, their entire social media is revolved around Disney. They're there to show Disney all the time, right? Some people live stream their entire experience and are at these parks open to close every day, if not almost every day. Live streaming. Just holding your phone up, POV style, at Disney, doing a normal Disney day or whatever it is. And they do that almost every day. And they're not workers. What the fuck?
They're
They're
just people
not
that are
they're not
fucking
employee.
obsessed.
It's obsession. So not only is it about Disney 24/7 and they spend their time open to close, these people are lurking. And it's becoming quite a problem. It is actually a huge, huge, huge problem at Disney. So a lot of these people have to physically be escorted out of the parks by cast members. Because I think sometimes the Disney parks close at like 1 a.m. Um and it's like 1:30 and these people will still not fucking leave. They will not go home, even though they're about to be at Disney World again the next day, doing the
Nope.
same thing. And
Gotta have their whole life about Disney.
they know what time it opens and closes. These people are coming in early thinking they can get, early access or anything like that, right? So they're the same type of people that are like in these lives saying that like, oh no, I respect the park so much. Like I respect the cast members and their boundaries. Like they're telling me to leave, so I need to leave. And then they go somewhere else in the park and do the same thing. Just stand there until somebody else tells them to leave. It's then they get to the point to as the cast members are trying to leave because it is like 15 minutes past closing time, 30 minutes past closing time. These cast members that want to go home and not be stuck at Disney World their entire lives, right? They start harassing other people. They start harassing the like cast members that are making them leave. They start harassing like the other park goers and like try to make this like big ass scene. They try to bribe the employees to get like special treatment, extra access, anything like that. Anything to let them stay the night, to let them live, breathe Disney. These people try to do, right?
They do.
And if you guys don't know, Disney is one of the strictest companies when it comes to like special access, VIP treatment, anything that shows the layers underneath Disney. They're so it's like you would think they're a secret government at this point, right? It is so locked down and so strict, especially with like how the employees have to act, how certain scripts that have to be said. Like everything is so strict. People can get like employees can get sued by Disney if they do or say the wrong thing. People can sue other people. Like it gets crazy, right? It's such a big brand, but it's also like I don't understand these people that think they can be at this place 24/7, know all of the rules, the lore, everything that goes along with Disney, and still think that somehow they're gonna be able to like be underneath in the tunnels where all the employees work. You know what I mean? Like, and if
Secret
you,
tunnels.
yeah, if you are not an employee of Disney, like you also have to sign all these contracts to be an employee of Disney, obviously, right? Most people are, have college degrees and theater and everything to play parts of certain characters. It requires a lot of stuff. Do you think this giant company is just going to let a random influencer and or fan underneath into the intricacies of, how the show runs basically, right?
Yeah.
And just let them run loose. Be like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, it blows my mind. The delusion part of the Disney adults is also very big. Like like I said, if Walt Disney was basically Jesus Christ to them, a god. That's Mickey's the god, and their son is Walt Disney. You know what I mean? Like that's how they view it. It is technically a cult or a religion, right?
Right.
And it's just all sorts of weird. So that's just the fucking parks, right? That's just the parks. So now I want to get to the section where we talk about outside the parks. And then you're like, Conway, what are you talking about outside the parks? No, it goes much further. That was just the first layer of being a Disney adult, right? The very first layer. Um, the like deeper layers would also be collecting the memorabilia, like heavily collecting the memorabilia. That considers you a Disney adult. Um, going to like the movie premieres or watching the movies. That's all you watch is Disney shows or movies would make you a Disney adult, right?
Right.
Majority. Going to like Disney on Ice or any concerts that are Disney like or any theaters or plays would make you a Disney adult, right? And this is not like I said, this is not people including the people that like work at these things. That's their job. Whether they're like theater majors doing Broadway of The Lion King. That's their job, right?
That is their job.
But Disney is everywhere. So like I said, you're not being able to leave the parks. You're gonna get your fix somewhere. You're going to either watch movies, watch a show, just be at something Disney related, right?
Yeah, and they have to have something like that, otherwise they're not happy.
And then say, "Hey, Stone, you want to go on vacation?
No.
Do you want to go on a cruise? Let's go on a cruise. A cruise sounds so fun. You want to go on a cruise with me?"
Is it a Disney cruise?
It is a Disney cruise. Not only that, let's go on vacation. It must be Disney themed. Let's not go to the parks. Let's go on a fucking Disney cruise. And you can go with or without kids. There's certain Disney cruises that have no kids. 0 kids allowed. But it's still a Disney cruise. PG instead of G.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. And then you have Disney cruises with the kids. And it's the same thing. It's like the parks on boats. If you guys have ever been on a cruise, think about that. But think about there's just Disney characters everywhere. Everything is Disney, everything. All the movies and events are Disney themed. That is a Disney cruise. And where do you go? To other Disney resorts.
Of course.
Not only are you on these Disney cruises, I think back in the day a little bit, I think, in the 2000s, I think they had Disney cruises that would go to like actual that weren't just like Disney resorts, right? But now it is only Disney resorts. I'm pretty
That
sure.
sounds awful.
Yeah. So not only are you Disney 24/7 on the Disney cruise, you get off that Disney cruise for your first destination. Guess what it is? A Disney resort. And these Disney resorts, some of them are not, are in nice exotic places, but like, oh my God, imagine, Hawaii is expensive. It is an expensive place to vacation, right?
Yes, it
With all
is.
the how the tourist price and everything like that, If you're a native Hawaiian person, I'm so sorry. Tourists and white people suck ass. So not only is Hawaii already an expensive thing, imagine going to a Disney Hawaii resort. Imagine. That's a thing. You
I
can
could
go to
never.
Hawaii. You can vacation in Hawaii and stay at a Disney resort.
No, thank you.
And guess who's there? Stitch. Obviously. Duh. But there's certain characters at certain places. Obviously, they stick to a theme, right?
Yes, they do.
But yes, you can vacation in Hawaii with Disney Resort. It's the same thing with like Japan, Paris, the Netherlands. There's so many fucking areas you can go that have Disney resorts because Disney is universal, right? It is worldwide. So, Stony, I love you so much. I really think it's time for us to get married. Do you think it's wedding time, Stony?
You're a couple years late, but sure.
But guess what? We could have a Disney wedding.
Oh, gross.
Not only could you go on a Disney cruise and any resort that you want, you can go to a Disney wedding. You could have a Disney wedding. Guess what? Even better. You want to propose? You can do it at Disney for a very small major fee.
Small major fee.
A major fee. You can propose at Disney in certain areas. If you want to propose in Disney at a specific area, it is going to cost you a pretty fucking penny. That's why most people propose in Disney in the same areas. If you ever have seen a Disney proposal, you're like, wow, it's always kind of in front of like Magic Kingdom or in these certain areas. Yeah. You know why? Because it has to be. Because it's free. It's free to do so.
It's weird.
But if you want to propose, say not by the Cinderella's castle, and you want to propose somewhere else in the park, you can't. It costs like thousands of dollars.
That's
Not just
insane.
not just a couple hundred to do so, thousands of dollars to get special permission to do so. You want to propose when the park is absolutely closed? That's gonna cost you higher tens thousands of dollars. Easily. Easily 5 figures. 5 figures, yeah, easily. Just to do certain areas and or time frames, right? Before the park's open, after the park's closed, there's a lot of things to do so, right? That's
Yeah.
just for the proposal side. So let's move on to the wedding aspect of Disney. If you want to get married at a Disney park, a Disney resort, anything Disney themed, it is so fucking expensive. It is like 3 or 4 times more than a normal wedding.
I bet that sounds just absolutely awful. I would hate for that to be like what you prioritize. Like, oh, I love Disney so much,
I want to
so
spend
we're gonna
6
spend our
figures on a wedding.
entire savings on
6
getting
figures
married
on a
there.
wedding. 6
Yeah,
figures on a fucking wedding.
that's insane.
Not only are you spending it just for the venue, some people take it even further. There is Disney designed wedding dresses.
Gross.
There's Disney designed suits. There is character designed wedding dresses and suits. Like any theme that you want, it's there. There is name brand Disney stuff. There's Gucci
Yikes.
stuff. There's Vera Wang dresses that are Disney collabed with. Disney's collabed with so many big things that if you wanted a Disney dress to go with your Disney wedding, that is absolutely possible.
Gross.
It's crazy. So not only that, the attire, the venues, the food that goes into it, the special requirements that go into it, as in like licensings for the photographers, your permits. It's so fucking insane.
That's just fucking.
Six
That's insufferable to me.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars for people to do this. It's very, very, very crazy. So, Stoney, we just had a wonderful Disney cruise. We just got married at Disney World. Where do we want to live now?
Nowhere.
Where do we want to live? Oh, I think we should live in a Disney neighborhood. I think that would be so much fun.
Please no.
You can. Fun fact, it is called Story Living. It is a Disney owned and operated neighborhood and a community where people live Disney style. It's straight out of it's literally straight out of a storybook. That's why it's called Story Living. And it is only for Disney adults. It's not really for families. So they have their own cult area as well too. They have their own area for their cult. And not only, if you guys want to, feel free to look it up. Story Living. Not only is it not like cheesy Disney themed stuff, right? It's
Yeah.
like aesthetically pleasing. It's like farmhouse white people chic mixed with like Disney touches. To where you're living in a Disney house, but it's not like, yellow, black, and white Disney Mickey Mouse colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they make it to where you're like, I'm an adult living in this. Like, oh my God. I don't understand it.
I don't either.
But I guess if you're a Disney adult and you're like, I want to be surrounded by people that are exactly like me, Story Living is just for you. You can live in a neighborhood that every single person of your neighbor is a Disney fanatic. And it blows my mind. It really does. And like I said, this doesn't like, I'm not shitting on like the designers or the animators or like the people who like make Disney, right?
Right.
Not shitting on that. I'm shitting on the people that are obsessed with the aspect once the products are done. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I get that, like, when it's your life's work, you're gonna be obsessed with it. Obviously, like, if you're a Disney animator, that's fucking amazing and awesome. If you're the one creating the stories or the music, or you're a part of like what makes Disney, cool. But if you're the part that's the obsession part of like the intake, you're intaking all of this Disney everything all the time. Holy shit. So yeah, guys, if you want to get proposed to at a Disney park and or Disney resort, and then you can take a Disney cruise with your future spouse, and then you can plan your entire wedding around a Disney. You can do that. It is possible. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, that's just way too much Disney for me.
And
That
that's why
is
it's what we're
insane.
classifying, guys. It's like it's not. Oh, I like Disney. No, you capitalize LOVE obsession with Disney. And these people exist. And a lot of them too, they are considered Disney adults because they have kids and their kids become Disney kids and then they become Disney adults. Right?
They sure do.
Like I get people doing it for their kids and stuff like that, but then like they still do it when their kids aren't around. You know?
They do.
It's they do it more for themselves, but they just happen to have a kid also. You know what I mean? It's just it's a weird ick sometimes. But before we wrap up here, I want to talk about the dark part of Disney adults. Something I knew was a thing, but I didn't know how like big of a problem it was, you know? So not only are these Disney adults living in this like delusional fantasy, right?
Yep, they
Living
sure
their
are.
living their ultimate fairy tale dream. They all are fucking scary too when you think about it. Like not even like overly nice, but there's just like something weird. There's just it's a little off. You know what I mean? Just a little off.
That's no
Um
kidding.
I feel bad for the people that work at these Disney parks, especially. The amount of sexual harassment, groping, and touching that the characters and cast members have to put up with is insane. There is grown people feeling up and touching the princesses, the princes, and even the fursuit characters.
Especially the fursuit characters.
Especially the fursuit characters. We watched a video. Um, it actually popped because like Disney stuff does pop up on my TikTok, but it's not like every fucking video like some people's For You pages are, right? This video popped up, and I sent it to Stoney, and I was like, we have to make sure to talk about this. It was a previous Disney cast member, who would because most cast members, if you do like full suit characters, you do quite a bit of different of the full suits, right?
Right.
Which are the ones with like the heads, you know, like Pluto, the animals, kind of. You know how they have the full fursuits. She was explaining how it is extremely common for these grown people to do what's called like a gender touch, where they like go up and hug these like full suited characters and like try to feel if they have boobs, or they'll like rub their stomachs, like the character's stomach, to try to see if they have like a dick, to like gender, to see like which gender is inside the fursuit.
They
But
sure will.
it also goes hand in hand with like the furry fetish, and like not all furries are bad. It's not all furry people are crazy. It's nothing like that. But these are the types of people that are like going to these big full suited characters to like get touches in, and they're like rock hard while doing so. Or they're like I said, they're sexually harassing the characters. Like these grown men are like grabbing the princesses inappropriately, thinking like they're not real people under it. You know what I mean? Like because it's Disney, it has this facade that like you like these employees can't really like get mad at. There's this thing that the employees can't get mad at the guests because it's Disney. You got to make it a magical experience. So they think they can get away with doing that. Absolutely insane. I could not imagine being in an entire fursuit looking like Tigger. The Pooh Bear character, Winnie the Pooh character. Any Winnie the Pooh character, honestly. Or any animal character, whether like you're dressed up as Stitch, you're Winnie the Pooh, you're literally Pluto, or Minnie or Mickey, and you're getting like felt up through your suit.
Yeah, that'd be awkward as fuck.
And you can't talk. You can't talk because it's part of the like character guides, the rules. I'm sure there's like a way they like, because the cast members also have like their handlers or what they're called. There's like other cast members that like help them walk around to see and stuff like that, right?
Right.
I'm sure there's like rules of like what they have, like a secret touch or communication to talk to their handlers and be like, yo, that dude just like groped me. Get him out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure, but like seeing that video, I was like, I didn't know that was that common of a problem, but it is a very, very common of a problem. I knew it was like a problem with like, the female characters. I knew that already because, they're females, so people think that they can do whatever they want all the time anyways. But I didn't know it was even a bigger problem when it comes to the fursuits. It's just like wild. And a lot of it is the Disney adults doing this.
Yep. Because people have fantasies.
Yep. It's the same thing with them constantly also wanting to fuck the cast members and the characters. If you look up Disney porn, please don't. You will, unless it's like, Mrs. Incredible. Unless you're like a Pixar mom. If it's a Pixar mom, yeah, but I ain't looking up Goofy. You know what I'm saying? I know so many people that have crushes on fucking Goofy.
Right.
Goofy. What?
Oh yeah, people will watch fucking anything, man.
Yeah, so it's quite a weird thing. So not only are they like harassing the characters and sexually harassing the fursuiters, a lot of the adults now there's a bunch of rules. It used to not be a rule, but it's since became a rule. A lot of adults are not allowed to dress because how some people like cosplayers. Cosplayers are really awesome. I think cosplaying is such a fucking awesome art. People get so detailed with cosplaying, right? Where they look like the real thing.
Yeah.
So people were cosplaying as princesses or as princes or, different characters. And that was like okay for a while at the parks. You were able to do that for a very long time. But it was getting to where the cosplayers were getting so, especially I would say most of the princesses, the cosplay was getting so good that people were like, it was causing crowds.
Right.
Like the people like freaking out because Ariel's 2 feet away from them and the kids screaming and people are wanting them to sign their books and take pictures with them, and then like you have these grown adults that are like, no, like I'm not a princess, I'm just the cosplayer, and that like takes away the magic. So Disney banned any adults from dressing up as characters and anymore. So they're not you're allowed, like you can't go in. There's certain nights where you can go in full costume that are on like Disney's websites that they plan for the parks. Like there's certain days that you can dress up in full costume and it's okay. But most of the time you can't. It's banned because of that. Because there's people, you can
Because
get
there's weirdos.
not even that, but like Disney can be sued for having like a shitty time. Like you're having these random people dress up these characters, not signing the kids' books, not talking exactly how they're supposed to, not sticking to the scripts. And it can cause a lot of liability situations and kind of the guidelines. Because like if you guys have never been to a Disney park or you don't know the kind of rules of it, the characters are in full character. They are full-time actors. Like they do really well at their jobs. Disney has a whole, like if you want to go in a deep dive, you can literally look up how to become a cast member at Disney. It's very strict on what you look like, your height, how your voice is. Can you do you know what I mean? Like, and the way you talk, like it's very, very, very strict. So you can't have these random people in cosplay and it's Merida and she doesn't have a Scottish accent. What's going on? Just ruin this kid's experience.
Right.
It can get crazy. So there is a lot of rules. There's a lot of things they can certain say. I know if the character, say the person's out of character and they're at the park, and say like, there's Disney adults around all the time. They'd be like, hey, I recognize you. Didn't you play, weren't you Cinderella yesterday or something? And the person that's, if you're still working for Disney, you have to be like, oh, I'm such good friends with Cinderella. You have to like pretend that like Cinderella's a real person and she's your friend. And like, yeah, me and Cinderella are really good friends. You're like this, you can't, it's not like it's like a weird third person. You can't be like, oh yeah, I was Cinderella. You can't say that. You have to be like, oh no, like, yeah, I'm really good friends with Cinderella. Me and her are besties. Like that's You have to say it if you're a character, you're an employee out of character for like an off day or something,
Yeah,
And
it's
like I
it's
said, then
very
you have the
strange.
Disney adults that are there all the time or frequently that notice the same people. Um, it's just yeah, it's weird. So not only that, when I talked about earlier where Epcot has the drinking around the world, right? And if you guys don't know, Epcot's like another part of Disney. Drinking around the world, they have these certain areas in Epcot that are themed to places around the world, different countries, right?
Yep.
And each country usually has a certain character that the character's from or based around or anything, right? And not only that, it's the only place in Disney where you can drink, like get alcohol. So people drink around the world where they go to each country and get the signature drink. And then literally, because the drinks are so heavy, by the like fourth country, most people are pretty pretty fucking shit faced. So not only that, you're having these drunk Disney adults that are causing scenes. You have parents that are just there fighting because their kid didn't get, a signature from so and so because somebody cut them in line. Like it gets kind of crazy. Um when you throw that into the mix too, I mean throwing alcohol in any situation can make it crazy, but I couldn't imagine just grown Disney adults just fist fighting. I mean, they wouldn't even be fist fighting.
Just a bunch of slapping.
I like it's so and it just really is crazy because I'm like, how in the fuck do these employees work at Disney? How would you even want to work there? I mean, get it, you probably if you're in Orlando or like you're paying for school or you're going to like Disney school for animation or voicing, you know what I mean? Like things like that. That's really awesome. That's really cool. Always need stuff like that in the world. But like, I don't know how the character employees do it. I don't know how the regular employees do it because like if you're working at Disney every single day pretty much, you're seeing some crazy shit.
Yeah, you are.
Because you know all the behind the scenes stuff. You know all the gossip. Like when something goes down, those employers are like, "Did you fucking see Sarah Joe over there
What is it with
losing
you and compound names? You can't ever just
losing?"
give a normal name. It always has to be Billy Sue,
Well,
Bobby
yeah.
Joe.
Well, when I think of white people, I think of Sarah Joe and Chad Brad the third. Did you
Yeah.
see those fucking crazy people over there? Like, just white people. Uh, um, I just like that's I couldn't imagine working at Disney. I really couldn't. Having to like put on a smile when these people are going absolutely fucking balls to the wall crazy. I couldn't do it. I couldn't like mask up enough to be like, have a magical day.
Right.
Holy fuck, these people are crazy. Like Jesus. Especially when, like we talked about earlier, we're talking about like special events or holidays. Some fucking 39-year-old dude in fucking Mickey Mouse ears screaming at you because so and so took the last fucking pop figurine or little memorabilia from the park. Could, could you imagine yourself, a full grown adult, yelling at some person who's working there with your sunscreen on your face, your fucking cargo pants, a fucking Disney shirt that says like so and so family trip 2023, and you got your Mickey ears on and you got a fucking cinnamon churro, and you're screaming at a lady because the last centennial puzzle is not there anymore and you demand for them to check in the back for more.
Yep. And on that note, I think we have covered just about everything about Disney adults because I
Here we
can't take
go.
this anymore.
Stoney has a mental breakdown. Hey, you don't watch Wally tonight?
Maybe. That's acceptable, but I can't with this anymore. We got
It's
different
horrendous.
topic time.
I know it's horrendous. But if you guys are a Disney adult out there,
Check yourself. Reevaluate your fucking life decisions and figure out where you went wrong.
sorry, not sorry for dragging you this entire episode. If you guys like make fun of Disney adults, I appreciate it. So this is the part of the episode where you guys learn the secret passcode for this week, and it's obviously going to be a mouse, and maybe add some sparkles with that, some mouse magic. If you guys want to leave down below in the comments a mouse emoji, a little sparkle emoji, or send it to us, feel free to let us know that you listened all the way through this episode. Sorry for the rambling, but not sorry, because this is the Ramblin podcast, and we tend to do that, obviously.
And as Conway is a former Disney adult, she can be the one to ramble the
No,
entirety
I
of
was
this
not
episode.
a former Disney adult because I was not 18. I was below 18, so
Oh,
technically was
okay.
not adult.
Disney weirdo. Is that better?
No, because I just like Disney as I was a kid, and I was like, I like Disney. That's normal. But yeah, if you guys are a Disney adult, or if you're like a Disney semi-adult, please tell us the craziest thing that has happened at Disney World or any of the parks or any of the Disney experiences, because I always think those are really funny. And if you want to have a good cringy laugh today, literally just go on TikTok and type in Disney adults. You will see some crazy shit, or you'll see the influencers we talked about today. You'll see basically everything we were talking about. And if you want to see something really crazy, story living, go look up the Disney neighborhood. It's it's absolutely fucking whack. But yeah, that is the end of episode 25. Disney adults. I think that is enough of talking about the Mouse Overlord and the entire enterprise that makes billions of dollars a year.
Yeah, that's no kidding.
Oh, but Stony, where can the good people find you? Where can all the Disney adults find you to recommend you
Nowhere.
everything?
They can just go away. They don't need to find me.
All the Disney adults, you can find Stony at Stony Robbins everywhere.
And if you do, I promise I will not respond to you, and you will get blocked very fast because your
Everyone
entire
send your
life is funny.
everyone send your Disney pictures to Stony at Stony Robbins on Instagram. Tag him in all your Disney pictures,
Please
please.
don't. Please don't.
But you guys can find me at conwaytitty.com. That is conwaytitty.com. That is where all my socials and things are. Yeah, it's everything. Just do that. It's super easy. But I appreciate you guys for listening. It's always really fun doing a weird topic and just can't understand why, won't understand why, and enjoy giggling and laughing and kind of dragging a certain type is always really fun. But I have been your host, Conway Titty,
And I've been Stony Robbins.
and that's the end of the episode. Okay, go listen to our other ones. It's been real. Okay, bye bye.